Oh my gosh, guys. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Jordan. So basically what prompted me to want to create this video is just that recently there's so many things that I am starting to loosen my grip on that I feel led to kind of detach from. And that's completely normal in life. You know, we're constantly evolving, we're constantly taking off layers and like learning ourselves more and more. And as we do that, we find that like certain things that we may have thought were long-term, certain things that we may have thought would be a career fit for life, whatever, is no longer in alignment with like who we're becoming. And it's definitely not easy. I personally am not exempt from being stuck on stupid, okay, as they say, or being hyper focused on something and trying to make it a fit when it is not a fit, when God is so clearly pulling me in a different direction. Y'all ever seen that meme? And it's like, there's this meme that was popular like a few years back, and it's this little girl holding a bear, I think, like a stuffed animal, and then she's looking at Jesus like holding on for dear life to this bear, and behind Jesus's back he has like this huge big bear. And it's like she's just like, all she knows, mind you, I'm reading so deep into the picture, who knows what the intention was, but the energy is like, if she knew what was behind his back, she would drop that bear so quickly. She would be like, okay, I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? And that is the same energy that I feel is transpiring and playing out in my life and within the collective in general. We cling to things out of comfort and familiarity. A lot of that comes from not being able to conceptualize or even imagine anything else providing the same feeling of that thing or that person or that career. You know what I mean? Like once you experience a certain feeling, it's really, really hard to imagine that energy packaged any other way. But something that I've learned is to trust that I'll experience that feeling again. That particular feeling, that particular energy is just that energy. That's so important to remember. It's not so much the person or the job or the thing that is what we're clinging to, it's the feeling that it provides that we resonate with. You know what I'm saying? And once you're able to separate, I'll say, the art from the artist, then you won't be so hyper focused on how it shows up. And I think about it this way. I look back like 5 years ago and like my interests and hobbies and personality and whatnot, and me sitting here right now with the wisdom that I've gained since then and the experiences that I've had since then, the people that I've met, I would have never been able to even conceptualize some of the rooms that I've been in, the people that have had such a profound impact on me, some of the things that like, you don't know, you just don't know until you do. You know, it's like when we think about it in terms of 5 years ago, we couldn't have even imagined the present moment. That is so important to remember whenever we're hanging on to something or someone. As long as we are alive, there's always things shifting and moving behind the scenes that you can't even foresee, that aren't even in your sight right now, that haven't been revealed to you yet, people that you haven't met yet, opportunities that haven't reached you yet. You know, and if you're my age, like I'm 23 years old, we don't know what our future kids are going to look like. Some of the best days of our lives haven't even happened yet, like a wedding or like a family gathering that one day we'll host 10 years from now. But at that point, it's like these are your family and friends and it's just normal. But now we haven't even met those people yet. It's so important to keep into perspective that everything is working out. If you surrender to the divine plan for your life, that you'll be exactly where you're supposed to be. But going back to clinging to an energy and feeling, I think that a lot of times our biggest fear is, like I said, a feeling that we believe can't be replicated. You would be surprised. That is all I'm going to say. You will be surprised. You will feel again. You will feel again. And I'm going to share some ways that you can get to that point of feeling again and kind of get your groove back, because I definitely have been there. Trust me. First of all, I want to start by talking about rejection. Rejection is something that I learned to deal with early on, because you guys know that I am a model. I started modeling when I was about 17. I didn't know myself nearly as much as I do now. Like, I was, you know, you're a teenager, you're growing, you're impressionable, and people's opinions matter. So being in an industry where people are so cutthroat and blunt and will reject you without explanation, you learn to develop like tough skin early on. When I got my first few emails that were like, you were released from this booking, or in all caps, it's just like canceled, released, you were dropped, you not that like, girl, it's not easy. I was crying at that time. You could not tell me that they did not hate me. I'm like, bro, they released me? Like, what? It used to break my little heart. It used to break my heart. Eventually, of course, you get used to it. And after learning the ins and outs of the industry and like basically what the deliberation process is when picking models, I was like, oh, okay, like, okay, they do this all the time, whatever. And it becomes like your normal, you know? And I learned to kind of disassociate from the process and understand that what they're judging and accepting or declining is my shell. The shell, how I show up, that has nothing to do with who I am on the inside. And so like mentally, my coping mechanism was just knowing that they don't know who I am at my core. They're judging based on my shell, so that doesn't hurt me. My shell is solid, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like having faced rejection in modeling so frequently, mind you, it kind of helped me to build tough skin. But like where it started to change was in interpersonal relationships, like where you actually do show up inside out, like do show up in a vulnerable state, you know? That is where you can't be so robotic with it. It's like, wow, that hurt. It hits differently because you actually put your real self on the line. You put your heart on the line, you know? Like when you're invested in something, it's different. And so I realized that that mentality didn't apply to every situation in life. Like you can't just hide behind your shell. This was a matter of the heart, you know? And so I had to think of like another mantra, another way, because y'all know I'm very analytical and I like to have like a concept for everything. That's that Virgo energy in me. So then my new thing was to express gratitude for the no's. Like I am actually thankful for the easy no's. Like with modeling, for instance, if a client's like, no, you're not a fit, thank you, next. Thank you, next. Thank you, next. It has to be the approach with everything. Thank God for the no's that are easy, because at least you didn't have to get your hands dirty. That's how I think about it. I appreciate rejection because I understand that it is not in alignment with what God has for me, and I'd rather know that now. Wouldn't you rather know that now? Like, spare me, please. You know? Thank you. Just express gratitude for God's protection, because ultimately that's what it is protection. When your mindset shifts into understanding that rejection is just protection, it's just redirection, accelerating you on your path so you don't have to spin your wheels and waste time. It's literally God course correcting, being like, okay, no, that's not it, over here. Thank you. I can't stress enough how reassuring it is knowing that what's for me won't miss me. You have to know that. Like what is for you will be there no matter what. So if your energy repels something, anything, job, person, whatever, it's not for you. That's okay. You have to have tunnel vision, forward movement only, no looking back. If people fall to the wayside, opportunities, jobs, thought patterns, habits fall to the wayside on your way to where you're going, that's fine. Don't look back like, wait, why? What did I do? Thank you, next. Thank you, next. Focus on the mission, keep going. And thank God for protecting you. Thank God for closing doors that weren't for you. Thank God for ending friendships, because God knows what happens behind the scenes. Thank God for keeping that person from contacting you as badly as you wanted them to, because they would have detoured you from your path. Thank God for that. Thank God for redirection, and keep going, okay? So that is the new mentality that I have as it relates to rejection, because the first one was a little faulty, because in life you will peek through your shell and have to be emotional and vulnerable sometimes. And that's fine, because even then you're still protected. And if you show up authentically and something isn't a match, then you definitely know it wasn't for you, because you were 100% real. You were 100% yourself. So again, thank you. Now I want to talk about when we do find the fit. We find our purpose, we find a career that's fulfilling, we find our ideal partner, and we are invested. Even when you're safe, even when you're in the ideal situation, your confidence and knowledge of self has to be so strong that you would walk away. Not that you want to, but that you would, if something was not serving you. I always keep myself in check with that as the measure. Like, yeah, I absolutely adore you, but I love myself so much that if it was revealed to me that this was misaligned, I can still walk away. That is how you know that it's like a healthy attachment. To me, I think that's how you know, because it's not codependent. It's not like, oh my God, if they fire me, I'm literally gonna kill myself. I literally don't know what to do. Or if he broke up with me, I would literally would not know what to do. I wouldn't have anywhere to go, and this and that. Like, that is how I keep myself in check mentally, is like, I could walk away right now. And that self-assuredness has just come with experience, child. You would think I'm 80 years old, but I literally feel like I've gained so much wisdom through little things. That's what I'm saying. Like, I haven't really been through the ringer of life like many people have, but I extracted knowledge from the smallest things so that I don't have to bump my head and like do all this stuff to learn the lesson. I heard you, God. Thank you for keeping it simple. I got the message just from that little interaction, and I'm gonna apply that to the next thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Obsession is real. My next point. Obsession is real. Me, girl, as soon as I find like something that I like, or like a person that I like, or a thing, anything, I do too much with it. Like, I can't just be normal and just have a crush. I have to have like a whole like fantasy life in my head. I can't just like this food. I have to eat it every day religiously for 2 years. Like, I am like that in nature. Like, I just love what I love, and I love, like, it's, you know. But energy and intention is very powerful and very potent. I can't even explain it. It's like you are putting so much energy into something, so much focus and intention. You'll find that the energy hasn't been evenly distributed, and there's stagnation in other areas of life. I kid you not. You got to think of life like this. You have different burners, right? And you're in La La Land looking up at the stars, just daydreaming, girl. You got the spaghetti burning on the back burner. This is on fire. This is like, it's like, because you're not being intentional with the energy. That, it'd be like that. Like, literally. Like, snap out of it. Sometimes you have to tell yourself, like, snap out of it. I'm here with you. It's real. Like, what you feel, energy is real. But you have to keep your feet on the ground. You're probably actually given this energy, given this inspiration and passion to channel it into something else to help to advance the collective, or actually given that inspiration to fuel you to want to create, or want to, you know how they say, like, love fuels you, love inspires you. So if your thing that you're hyper focused on is love, channel that into literally anything else, and I promise you it'll be well received, most likely, because anything stemming from a place of love is stemming also from a place of authenticity. That's coming straight from the source. That's real. People resonate with that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, I just feel like the energy that we use to obsess over these things, it's like it could be channeled elsewhere in a more productive way that will actually benefit you in turn, and not leave you depleted, you know? So it's just important to keep yourself in check and touch grass. Okay? Go outside, eat, drink, be merry. It's not even just being obsessed with a person or being obsessed with work. It's like we could be obsessed with social media. We can be obsessed and addicted to so many things that we don't really register as addiction. But if at the end of the day you were to take inventory on where you spent your time and thoughts, and it's this one thing, you have to get a life. You have to. I've been there where I had to be like, girl, You're consuming more than you create. You're trying to be Captain America, save this person. What are you doing for you? What have you done today? Let's start there. What have I done today? That mentality of just ripping it off like a band-aid and being like, girl, you are thinking way too hard about this. Go touch grass has helped me so much. You literally, when you start focusing on yourself and doing things, like for instance, like whenever I was going through like a rough patch where I was just sad and I'm just like, I don't know what to do, I just started doing me. I started hitting the gym. I started changing my diet and focusing on myself. Girl, I look back now and I'm like, what was I thinking about? Once you put yourself out there and you find a hobby, find something to do, if you give yourself time and just put the energy into yourself, by the time the thing comes around, you might be like, actually, I reinvented myself. Be present. Be grounded. Ask yourself, what did I eat today? What did I do today? Okay, let's start there. One of my addictions, along with I'm sure so many other people, is social media. I saw this quote. It's like, you know, the 80-20 method. You should create 80% of the time and consume 20% of the time. Now, that's extreme, but to me, I'm trying to use it in terms of creation versus consumption, you know? And like, that's a practical way to snap out of it for me, is to create like these parameters. If I start with even creating 40% of the time and consuming 60% of the time, even that's better than just mindlessly scrolling all day. You know what I'm saying? So start somewhere and take practical steps. If you are hyper fixated on your situationship or connection, somewhere to start would be like, stop checking their social media every day or something like that. So I'd highly advise giving yourself realistic ways to like snap out of it and stay present. And finally, this is the most important thing that I will say to you in this video, is that stagnation physically in our physical reality is a result of spiritual stagnation. I literally researched it because I felt this way. Like, I felt intuitively that things weren't moving because spiritually I wasn't really activated, if that makes sense. Literally Googled like how to overcome spiritual stagnation, and the one thing that really stood out to me and the results was pray aggressively. That really stood out to me because any person who overly resonates with any situation, place, person, or thing probably has a little bit of a controlling nature about them, right? And so when it comes to like prayer and surrendering, it's hard because it's hard for those types of people to outsource help. That doesn't come naturally. So the idea of like having to surrender and pray and ask for something is like, it's like uncomfortable. And a prayer from a control freak probably sounds like pretty cookie cutter and surface level. Like, hi, I know it's been a long time. Like, it's, you know, it's like not easy and it's awkward and it's like, here I am because I guess I don't have the answer. So, but practice makes progress. Anyone who has humbled themselves enough to surrender to the divine, surrender to God, and ask for help is already like, good job. I will say to you, good job, great job for relinquishing control and allowing something bigger than you to take the reins. It's not easy. I know, I'm the same way. I love to know like what's going to happen next, and I'm not too big on risk. And it's crazy because people would probably say that I'm unconventional in a lot of ways, but I'm very calculated in a lot of ways as well, and I always want to protect myself. So relinquishing control to something outside of myself is not the easiest. So if you can get that far, great. Now, pray aggressively means it may start off kind of surface level, kind of cookie cutter, just catching up like, hey God, how are you? Keep talking though. Keep talking until you feel something shift internally. I promise you, after you enter just like a transparent, vulnerable state and really get real, it's okay to be like, yo, I don't know what's going on. I'm very scared. I didn't think this person would leave. I didn't think that I would get fired. Where do I go from here? That is okay. Pray aggressively, because when you feel that shift internally, you start feeling like warmth wash over you. Your heart's beating fast. You feel connected to the spirit. When you feel that shift, that's when things are shifting externally as well. It's all energy, you know? So transmute the stagnation spiritually, and I wholeheartedly believe that's when we see a change in our physical reality. You just have to have faith. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that it was helpful. Don't forget to leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you want to see next. Like and subscribe. See you next time.